Hey guys, welcome back to our channel.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Haley.
And together we're the Santellas.
Yay. So for today's video, I thought we would sit down and just kind of chat about our wedding, kind of talk about how we planned everything, how everything went, and then how we felt about it afterwards. But first, I wanted to point out that we both remembered to wear our wedding rings today. So we're off to a good start.
So I guess the first real thing we wanted to talk about was the reception and then... the wedding.
The ceremony, yeah.
The ceremony. So the ceremony, we decided to end up doing a small thing, but we kind of wanted to talk about how we came to that decision and why we chose to do that. We were kind of juggling between doing a really large thing where we invite all the family, but then at the same time we wanted to kind of just do a small thing, so the deciding factors there and what those were.
And then another thing was we were trying to decide if we wanted to have the wedding here in Idaho or if we wanted to go back home to the Midwest and have it there. So there was a lot of different variants that we had to decide on, and it was actually really hard for us to decide. It probably took us, 3 months, after we got engaged to finally, and I think it got to the point where we were just like, no, we have to decide now.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was neither of us liked to make a decision, and to us, we kind of knew what we wanted, but then we were attempting to please everybody else as well, which most people say, oh, no, it's all about you during your wedding, but, I mean, you really do want to make your family happy as well, so you don't want to just focus on yourself.
Yeah.
So we were trying to juggle all that, and it took a few months, and we finally decided to make a decision.
Well, no, family is really important to us, which was why we wanted to have such a big wedding. But then when we looked at the cost of having such a big wedding, it didn't seem feasible to us. Why would we be going and spending tens of thousands of dollars on a wedding when we don't even have a car that costs that much? And we don't have a home.
Yeah.
So, we don't even have items of value that would match this giant party that we were wanting. So I think that was a big decision as well. But we still wanted to have a little party. We still wanted to invite a lot of our family. And how we kind of came to an agreement, I guess, or a compromise with that, was we decided to have a small wedding in Idaho, and then about 2 weeks later, we had a larger reception back in the Midwest.
Where we got to invite all the family that we would have invited to the wedding had we done a large ceremony as well. So it kind of worked. I think it went well. It was an awesome experience. We got to see all of our family, and they got to celebrate with us. It was a big family reunion. That's what it was, between both families, which we've never done before. So that was the first time that happened as well.
Yeah.
It also meant that a majority of the family didn't have to travel and fly.
Or if they did have to travel, it wouldn't have been as far.
Yeah.
If they were to come to Idaho.
Because it was in the Midwest. A lot of our family is from the Midwest. I would say about half of my family has moved out of the Midwest, though, which is crazy to think.
That is weird to think about. Because you still feel like they're all there.
Because everyone's there during holidays and celebrations. Everyone flies back in. So, it was a great experience to do that. But I think the ceremony, the reason we chose to do such a small thing, like Haley said, was the cost. But also looking back on it and knowing how it went and actually experiencing a small ceremony and being there with just, how many people did we have? 12?
13.
13 people of family members.
Including us.
So that was 11 family members and then us too. Being there with just 13 people and then photographer and videographer, it was so intimate in Idaho, in McCall actually. And it was so intimate, we got to talk with everybody and enjoy ourselves and make it how we wanted it to be rather than pleasing hundreds of people that single day.
I mean, when we look back on the day, obviously the day went by really fast, but it would have been so much more hectic and stressful if we would have had 100 more people there.
Yeah.
Think about that. We
would have had to have somebody coordinating it. Whereas in this case, we really didn't have a wedding coordinator. It was just kind of chaos, which was fine. We had an itinerary of how we wanted the day to go. That's how we intended it to be, just pretty casual.
Can I give an example?
Yeah.
So when we say we didn't have a coordinator or anything and we just kind of had a timeline, we we mapped out like when we were going to get certain photos and when the ceremony was going to be, but like we showed up after our first look photos and our family was standing there ready to go and the chairs were there in a pile, and it was kind of like, okay, let's go over there, set up the chairs, and let's have a ceremony. Like, it was not like planned in a sense that everything was already set up and organized. Like, we did it all ourselves pretty much.
The best part was we didn't know where we were going to get married until that moment.
Yeah.
We chose that spot on, like, in the moment. We were like, okay, over there it is, set the chairs up, and we got married right there.
I guess part of the reason why we were able to do that was because we got married at a state park. So we had rented out a pavilion at the state park.
Which gave us the surrounding grass right in that,
Yeah.
but it wasn't that good of a spot.
No.
The view wasn't that great with the pavilion that we rented, and also there was a volleyball court right behind it, and that would have been in almost all the shots. So that was
Yeah.
kind of like, that's not happening.
And there was pine needles all over the ground. So it wasn't like a pretty area, but we were able just to kind of move over, like 100 yards
Yeah.
into a different spot.
Not
and you
far.
could like see the lake behind you. The trees were gorgeous. The grass was green. So that was a good spot, I think.
Good spot. The one thing actually that just came to my mind now that we're talking about it, the photos that I've seen from that spot look great, but I've realized that the sun got in a spot that
Yeah.
we probably could have moved and positioned a little bit differently had we known or thought about the sun. We were thinking about it, but it ended up moving into a spot that wasn't ideal. I remember a big family photo that we took right there.
Some of the shots are a little bit overexposed just because it was so bright out
Yeah.
when we were taking photos. So that could have been, if we would have thought about it a little bit more, we probably could have moved a bit. But
Yeah.
the photos still turned out fantastic.
Exactly. The only one that I'm thinking of was our big family photo, and maybe because it was such a wide shot.
Could be.
Maybe. But anyways, it was just a wonderful day.
It was.
I couldn't have asked for anything better.
It was. It was great.
There was a bunch of laughs during the ceremony,
Tears.
tears.
Oh,
and-
wait. Let's go back to laughs.
Oh, no. Don't make me do it.
So, I have a story to tell. So this is our ceremony. We did not have what do you have before the ceremony the night before? A rehearsal dinner. We did not have that. We just kind of...
Our rehearsal was the ceremony.
Yeah, we winged it. So, we had given our officiant kind of like the ceremony like outline of what we wanted him to say and when we were going to say things. But like we didn't go through it and like memorize it.
We didn't read it to each other.
No, we didn't practice.
We didn't practice at all, which was probably a mistake, but
whatever.
it doesn't matter.
So we're going through this ceremony, and then our officiant Roger like says some words, and it's at the point where Sean is supposed to say these magical words that you say at a wedding. And he pauses, and you can see like the contemplation on his face, and I'm like, yeah, you can do it. And then he says, yes. And I'm like, you're supposed to say I do.
You didn't say anything. You just shook your head. You just shook your head.
I was thinking to myself, you're supposed to say I do.
And everyone just like went quiet, and then Roger says to me pretty quietly, but I think everyone heard him. He said, "That's it, Sean," or "That's it, boy," or whatever. Or, "That's the moment." I don't know what he said.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was something like that. And before the ceremony, he had said to both of us,
something will go wrong.
His words of wisdom were, something will go wrong, and it will be hilarious. There will be a moment, and that was it. And everyone just burst out laughing, and it was just, I don't know. I think it was meant to be that moment.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't say I do, I said it afterwards.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
It was like the next day. My mom said like, "Sean, this is your moment," or something, and then, or maybe you said it. I don't know, like to repeat yourself and redo it. And I said, "I do."
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Maybe it was that night. I'm not really sure.
I just remember like 30 seconds later, it was my turn to say I do, and I definitely emphasized the fact that I said I do.
It was very loud and clear. Everyone was laughing. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. The ceremony was good.
So we had a private dinner with our family that came to our ceremony, which was absolutely amazing. We had a private dinner room with a balcony that overlooked the lake. It was gorgeous.
It was the night after the wedding, or it was the night of the wedding.
Yeah.
So that dinner, yeah.
I wanted to talk about the cake. That's why I wanted to talk about this. We got the best vegan cake from here in Boise. The baker that did it is absolutely amazing. She made like She called it a Neapolitan cake because we wanted a chocolate layer, a strawberry layer, and then vanilla frosting. But she didn't just do that. She added in like a chocolate ganache and then like a strawberry kind of jam thing. And it was the best cake.
It was delicious.
It was so good. And we picked up the cake on Saturday. No.
When did
Sunday.
we drive up to McCall?
We picked the cake up on
Sunday
Sunday
morning.
We picked the cake up Sunday morning, and then we drove it 2.5 hours north into the mountains on a windy mountain road. And I was like,
she was freaked out that the cake was
out.
Gonna be a wreck when we got there.
It was gonna like slide around.
It was like, it's gonna be fine. Like, pack it in. Like, it'll be great. Like.
So we packed it in a cooler. We drove it up the mountains, and then we get to the hotel. We unpack it, or we check it, and everything looks good. Like, it survived this trip like perfectly. So it's in the cooler.
We left it in there with the ice.
Yeah, we left it in there.
Maybe almost a mistake. Luckily, wasn't.
Oh, because
all the ice melted.
To melt.
It could have been sitting in water, but it was fine.
It was good. It was good. And then, so we got married on a Monday. So then the Monday after the ceremony, someone had brought the cake into the private dinner room, and then after we were done eating, we had
the cake cutting ceremony.
Yeah, we
had paid for it in advance, which we weren't gonna do, but it was just like, whatever. Let somebody professional come in and cut the cake that knows how to do it, and it'll go faster, and then we can all have a nice slice of cake. That was our thought.
Well, and it was special because the chef was coming in to cut the cake.
But
it was like a treat.
We didn't know the chef was going to.
No, but whoever came, it was cool that the chef came in and did it.
So we were thinking it was just going to be somebody who worked for the restaurant would come out, cut the cake, and leave, and give everyone a slice. Ended up being the chef showed up from the steakhouse, actually, the really fancy steakhouse at the Shore Lodge. He came out and took time out of his dinner service to come and cut the cake and talk to us. And told us a story about the cakes, the wooden stump cake stand that our cake was on. But he butchered the cake.
He destroyed it.
It was really, really bad.
Like, it was, I don't even...
Yeah.
It was awful.
The worst part is that I don't think he had a cake knife.
No, he was, using a steak knife.
Which made sense for him, but it just was... anyone else that was there, family member, could have done a better job than that, and the cake would have looked presentable afterwards.
Yeah.
But the slices were uneven entirely.
Yeah, I had the tiniest little slice, and then someone else had this huge slice.
Maybe we'll put a picture into this video so you can see, rather than us just describing it, so you can see how bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, the cake was great.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cake was great.
Then we got to party for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Eat, drink, party, dance.
Hang out by a fire pit, out on the balcony, overlooking the lake. I don't know. It's just good.
Yeah, we had a private dinner room that connected to this private balcony, and we had it all booked out for the night. And we basically had bar service the whole night until it got a little bit later. Then we had to go in for our drinks. But yeah, it was really incredible looking over the lake and being there with the family. So
it was gorgeous, and we blew everybody's minds. Nobody, we told our family that we were going to the mountains to have our wedding, but they didn't understand exactly what they would see, how beautiful it would be, and I don't know. It was just kind of cool to
I think a lot of
give
it is
that to them.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is that we live in Boise, which is technically like a high desert. It's not beautiful here.
It's brown.
It's like you go outside, it's brown, dusty, dirt, whatever.
Yeah.
And you look up at the foothills, mountains.
The foothills are also brown.
They're nice, but they aren't beautiful tree covered, evergreens, that type of thing. So in McCall, it is that way. It's all green, so really nice.
There was still a snow-capped mountain out there when we were there. Yeah. So this was in mid-August, and there was still snow-capped mountains out there, so that was cool. Yeah. So we had our ceremony, and then about 2.5 weeks later, we flew back to Chicago and had a large, casual family reception. Why are you laughing?
Because I just thought of something.
What?
When we flew back, we brought your wedding dress and the suit. And this is a tangent, but I'll talk about it. We were in the Boise airport, and either I went to go like to the restroom or I got water or something, and I came back and Haley's like looking at me and she's like, there's people over there with like a wedding dress and suit.
Yeah, there was like another couple
that were like traveling on the same plane as us. They were sitting we were all waiting to board, and I recognized them. To be honest, I really did recognize them.
Oh, I thought they looked
but
familiar.
I didn't say that at the moment. So turns out these two that were traveling on the same plane with us to go to Chicago.
They were going to get married.
Yeah, they were going to get married in the Midwest. I think in Chicagoland area.
No, they got married in Iowa.
Oh, okay. So, they ended up taking
They had to take another flight from Chicago. Yeah.
So these were, I think we had met the guy at school. We went to Iowa State with that guy.
Well, wait, back up. So, like, 2 weeks later. So we take this flight with them, and then we part ways. Oh, yeah. But 2 weeks later, we're at a bar watching an Iowa State football game.
Downtown Boise.
With like a group of other Iowa State people, and these two show up. And we're like, hi. But
the thing is, we didn't realize at the time. They said to us,
we saw you at the airport.
And we're like, wait, what? That was you? Like, it was just this weird connection that...
So then they proceed to explain that they both went to Iowa State.
Yeah.
And
we think we met them at school.
And we're pretty sure that they were both the double E's.
Oh, yeah.
But they're like 2 or 3 years younger than us. But then the story gets even crazier. Because, so they went to Iowa State, that's cool and everything. Well, they're both from Iowa, and she is from my hometown and went to a rival high school of mine. Like, what?
Yeah. It's just a small world.
So anyway, they had their wedding dress and his suit. Well, Sean and I decided to pack I brought my wedding dress and his suit with us because we wanted to wear them at the reception so our larger family could see our outfits as well. Well, we decided to be lazy and just shove it in our suitcases.
Yeah, we folded them up and packed them in.
We had already gotten married. It didn't matter, like, if they were wrinkled.
No,
we just shoved them into our suitcases.
This couple had them all nicely... in
their garment bags.
Oh, garment bags.
What? Oh.
That's another one. I never got a real garment bag. I just got plastic.
And Sean got a custom suit made.
Anyways. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to Chicago, reception. All of our family's coming in. And we, again, went to a park, a recreation area, and rented out a pavilion.
It's just our thing to do.
I guess so.
We like pavilions.
We like parks and pavilions.
It's easy enough. It's cheap.
Yeah. We ended up getting a caterer, but they catered burgers, brats, chicken, and then they did a veggie burger for me.
Yeah, a bunch of appetizers too.
Salads, guacamole.
Yep. Oh, the guacamole and chips were great.
Oh my gosh, the guac was so
incredible.
good. So it was like just a super casual thing. We told people just, wear whatever you want.
Some people didn't know what that meant, which was pretty funny.
No, some people got dressed up and some people did not.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I said that on the website. It was like, literally just come in whatever you want. We don't care.
It's a casual barbecue party,
Yeah.
So, it was a good time. It ended up raining during our cleanup, though, at the end of the night,
Thankfully,
which was wild.
It held off until the end, though.
Mm-hmm. I think everyone got pretty soaked cleaning up and bringing stuff to the cars because we were all like rushing to get it out. But yeah, the day was great.
It went by really fast.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like
I didn't get to talk to everybody that I wanted to.
There was just so many people. We couldn't have.
And like, imagine if that would have been the same day as our wedding.
Yeah. Imagine. I wonder if we could have done it different. Like, if we would have stayed together rather than splitting off and going and talking to random people.
Oh, you mean during the reception?
Yeah. If we would have walked around together and just like focused on talking to everybody, I feel like we wouldn't have had as good of conversations with people. But at the same time, then we would have talked to everybody. So it's like, what could we have done? I don't know.
It was hard though because a lot of it for me was I'd be talking to somebody. And like the majority of these people we haven't seen in years because we moved to Idaho 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I would be talking to somebody and then out of the corner of my eye, I would see somebody else that I haven't seen in years, and I'd be like, bye, going to talk to them now, which in hindsight is probably really rude of me to do, but I was just so excited to see everybody that I couldn't focus on talking to one individual person at a time.
Yeah.
It was a little overwhelming, I guess.
I think maybe some of it is that everybody kept arriving at different times.
Which we told them to.
Yeah. So it wasn't like a formal this time to this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a start and end time, but no one showed up then, or not that many people showed up at those times and left at those times. It was just come as you go.
Yeah.
So like if somebody was there for a short period of time, you wanted to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Because you weren't sure if you were going to see them again. I mean, it was kind of a large pavilion and a big area, so you got to make your rounds, but
it was hard.
Yeah. It was still a good time though. I think everyone enjoyed themselves. There was a lot of beer left over. We drank almost all the White Claw, I think.
So, funny story about the White Claw. This was Labor Day weekend, and...
In the Midwest,
in Chicago, and all of the White Claw supplies and all of the grocery stores were out.
Sold out.
Gone.
Had we thought.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of the weekends that it was just booming in sales. And I think it still is to this day.
And they just couldn't keep up the supply.
Yeah.
So all the grocery stores were very limited on the amount of White Claw that they had. And we ended up going to a random grocery store.
No, it was Jewel, wasn't it? Jewel Lasco.
Well, yeah, but it was just one of the... There's multiple grocery stores
to pick
from.
But it's Jewel. Jewel Lasco.
So we went to Jewel Osco. And we go to the liquor beer department. Can you buy liquor in a grocery store?
Yes.
Okay. So we go to the liquor beer aisle and we show up, and was the lady stocking it?
The lady was like
stocked it.
Stocking one last White Claw, and it was just a full center cap.
Yeah, it was just like a block.
It was like a block of White Claw. Just it was a built. There was no like shelving. It was just on the ground,
yeah,
like maybe on a pallet.
Yeah, it was just in the center of the aisle.
And there was so many crates of it, or boxes of it, whatever the variety packs were. And we took maybe like...
We took like 90% of it.
Yeah, we left like 2 there. I don't know how many we bought. Maybe 15? 10? Somewhere in there.
That's a lot. And then she was like, that's it.
Like, there's no more in the back. We won't be getting any more for
the weekend. like for Labor Day weekend. We just like cleared them out.
Yeah. And one of my best friends, he works for a supplier or distributor in town and in the Midwest. And he told me that no store has any White Claw. And then we end up going to Jewel Osco and seeing that. And we just bought it all. It was awesome. So.
We got lucky with that. Because that's what everybody wanted to drink.
Yeah. What's funny is when we planned the reception, the party, White Claw wasn't...
it hadn't been thought of.
No one had said or thought of, let's have White Claw. It was just like that day or... The day before, we were like, wait,
White Claw.
We need White Claw. Like, it wasn't that popular, or Haley and I weren't into it when we were planning the reception.
I think we were. It just didn't cross our minds.
Yeah, I don't know. So, it was just like a last-minute thought, and then it ended up working out. Yeah. So, other than that, though, we had some kegs of beer left over that we ended up finishing off. Maybe not finishing off, but brought them back to the house, and we got to drink those the night of. And then also the next day for a little house party that my parents hosted. Yep. And, yeah.
So all in all, I think it went pretty well.
I think so, too.
I would definitely recommend to anybody that's planning a wedding or thinking about getting married that if it's doable for you to have a small, intimate ceremony, do it. Because I feel like it made our day a lot more special.
Yeah, I agree.
And granted,
it wasn't crazy.
No, it wasn't crazy, but it suited our style and our personalities to have a small wedding.
Yeah, and I think our close family who was there would really, really appreciated it.
Yeah, it was special for them that they got to be there as well.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Oh, wait, I want to talk about one more thing.
Oh, what?
So, for our ceremony... I did not have a maid of honor. Instead, I had a man of honor, and it was my brother. So I just wanted to say that.
He was beautiful up there.
He got to hold my bouquet. He was manly.
I think he enjoyed it, though. I think he liked being up there.
I think he appreciated it.
Yeah. So both of our brothers were up there with us. So.
Yeah, it was special.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this was nice.
Is that it? I think we're done.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we can talk about this in future videos more if we have more to say.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be thoughts of our wedding and ceremony and stuff.
If more questions come up or we think of things that we want to say, we'll do another video with you guys, kind of explain a bit more. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for today's video.
Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our wedding video that's coming up next Friday.
I'm excited about that. And then also make sure to like, comment down below, and share this video as well because it really helps to support our channel.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. How do we turn these pups off?
Hit the red button.
Up here?
Yeah.
I lose